How do we know how we can use plants for medicinal purposes and how to use them? Well, we use our senses first of all. So you see here a young eucalyptus. But how do we use it? And how do we know what to do with it? Why can't we just, well, cut it off and make some tea? Because if you touch it, it's really thick and hard. So we need other methods to use it. And the same goes for the pine. Those pines here, they are very mature pines. See, where I am now, it's the middle of winter, believe it or not, and these needles are pretty big. So what we want to do is to look for fresh, really newly grown needles if you want to use them. How different herbs and herb parts, or plant parts rather, I mean these are trees of course, are being used is determined, for one, by what you want to use them for. Secondly, by the compounds in the plants you wish to use. And then, as I've shown you, the matter. If you have very, very thick leaves and needles, then you need a different method than if you had some very thin, small flowers and herbs, which you can just take and dry or even use fresh to just make a simple tea. So this is what you're going to learn in our course. Have fun! As you can see, a normal pine tree has a pretty solid bark. So how do we get the trees up? And how do we get the needles of a tree? This was grown like this, though it's, for one, this is the result of this being a pretty old tree. But it's also often the result of how trees are treated in the forest, like it's often not really a natural thing. So the resin that we wish to collect, it's not here because this bark is pretty healthy. The resin that we are after, it appears when the tree has been hurt. It's like when we get hurt and the blood comes at the place of the wound. So what the tree does, it's the same, but it has the tree sap coming out. So I'm going to show you at some sadly hurt trees how that looks like. We also want to collect some pine needles today. So as you can see, those pine trees there, we could never reach the needles, and they are pretty old, especially right now. And because these trees over there had been used to harvest resin for turpentine oil production, they're also not really healthy, unfortunately. So this is the new baby tree. Like there are several ones. So you want to go for smaller trees where you can actually reach the twigs and the needles. The thing here is, when we collect needles from pine trees and other conifers, we collect the buds, the very, very young ones, because you see the old ones here, they are very big. You can see from their sheer size, but also if you touch them, they are very, very thick. So this makes them, for one, not very fresh, and secondly, the taste is much harsher and much more bitter, and you also have much more trouble to use them. So we actually would be looking for buds which are not really here. So this is This is the youngest part I can see, so I'm going to show you how you harvest. Well, you simply go for the needles and carefully pluck them off. That's all we do. Here's a tree that has younger buds, new needles, but I can't reach it, so we have to look further. Here we go, several months later. And now, the spruce. So I'm still in the same area as before, but now I'm in a part of the forest that has been very much mistreated. What you see here is the same kind of pine tree, the exact same. And this is what happens for big style industrial turpentine production. So what happens is people use axes to cut this form into the bark, and the white stuff you see, this is the resin of the tree, and it comes out of the tree to heal the wound. So this here is dried, and you see here that all the trees here, they've all been treated that way. See, normally the sap is collected in these things, but somebody must have been here just recently and collected them all and just left them here. So, but what we are going to do now, I will show you how to collect some natural resin. You want to come prepared and wear gloves because it's really sticky. What you would normally do is you would go to a natural forest and then look for any spots on trees that have been kind of naturally hurt and where the sap is coming out in a natural way. So this is the sap, the resin which we want to collect. So what we do now is just, well, we just collect it. It's already sticky, and then just put it in a bag. I suggest that you do not try this without gloves and without something to collect it in. You can use a glass, a metal container, really anything, but really don't come unprepared. So as you can see, maybe bring a knife And maybe bring a glass to collect it in, not like me. You also want to make sure to collect resin that is clean. But I wanted to show you this. Do you see these trees here? So you see they have different times of harvest marked on them. So this is how they grew up, like they have hardly anything left. Because in the end this can kill trees. It's really not nice, this big style production. That's how it looks when somebody has scraped it all off. You also can make, by the way, turpentine oil from the bark itself. And you see all these little things here that come off when they're hacking into the tree. So all these chips fall down and they're actually collected by the people working, because they can also be used to extract the turpentine oil. Pine cones, but nothing in there.